Might have forgotten about this in the face of all the news swirling around, but today is Earth Day. What can stem the tide of what environmental advocates call a nascent climate catastrophe?
Not a climate catastrophe. I want you guys to do something with me. I want you guys to get in the Wayback Machine with me. Oh, come on, we can all do it. There we go. We're getting in the Wayback Machine. We're going to go back 2019. So a young girl in Sweden gets into a boat. And she heads over here because she's not going to pollute the earth at all. Like, she's in a dinghy. She's coming to America. She's going to the UN to deliver a heartfelt speech of kindness. There's no blame here, or is there?
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope.
Nope.
How dare you?
Nope.
You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Well, we did. We dared you. What do you think of that?
How dare you?
Yeah, whatever. Listen here, little girl. Shush.
Can we just please go ahead and change her name to Karen?
I know.
Children should be seen, not heard.
And now what's her new thing? She's on to Palestine. You know what she says? She looks at Israel and says,
how dare you?
And there's just like, shut up. As you do. So how bad is it? Is it the worst ever? Is this it? Is the world coming to an end? I've been hearing about this for years. AOC came on the scene, told us I only had a few years left. All of us did. We were done. We were done for. The world's over.
Didn't she tell us we had 12 years, 12 like 7 years ago?
Based on her scientific best guesstimate of how you mix this and mix that.
Well, I take all my scientific cues from a woman who doesn't know what a garbage disposal is.
No, you should. You should. You absolutely should. She knows exactly mostly what she's talking about. But is that true?
The era of global warming has ended. The era of global boiling has arrived.
Global boiling? The world's doomed, I'm told.
We're in the sixth mass extinction right now.
I only wish someone could have warned us about this apart from every scientist for the last 50 years.
Every scientist agrees. But here's the thing. They don't. Well, yes, they agree that the climate's warming. Climate changes. But scientists don't agree on the catastrophic claims activists and the media make.
Icebergs are melting, the coral reefs are dying, and no one is helping.
If we don't stop the sea level rising, millions of people will be in danger.
Oh, my God. Is it over? Am I finally going to have an oceanfront property in Arizona? Because I have a house there. I'm just letting you guys know. I mean, you know, I keep looking at stuff, right? I go back and look at maps from a long time ago, and lo and behold, that shoreline still seems to be the same shoreline that has been there forever.
Shh. Not supposed to tell people that.
Continue.
The Great Polar Ice Sheet.
Not the Great Polar Ice Sheets.
Which are melting faster than many scientists had anticipated.
If global warming continues at the present rate, then the Arctic could already be ice-free by the summer of 2030.
That's myth one. The Arctic will soon be ice-free.
We don't have decades. We hardly have years.
These glaciers are on the brink, some already past the point of no return.
If the entire Greenland ice sheet was lost, sea levels would increase by 7 meters.
That's 22 feet. At just 6 feet, one storm surge could leave London underwater, says this BBC documentary. This could happen this century, they say. But is the ice really melting that fast? No.
As we exit ice ages, you should expect some ice melt, but it's not happening at nearly the catastrophic pace that they claim.
Oh, you know what? Just because you're a smarty and you actually look at facts and data, I don't want to hear anything from you, first of all, young lady, as if ladies are allowed to do science and math and such.
Who is this woman? Why is she getting in the way of me hearing more Greta?
Well, let me tell you something. Apparently, she's got a degree and she's kind of a smart person.
Heartland Research Fellow Linnea Lucan researches environmental threats. She points out that studies in Arctic sea ice don't show a catastrophic decline. although ice has melted.
It's really leveled off in recent years. A lot of the time when you are looking at these very alarming images, it seems like where'd all the ice go? There's no ice. There's all these walruses laying out on a stony beach. They should be on big icebergs. Well, it's because it's the summertime. And in the winter, it all comes right back to where it was before.
All of it?
In recent years, yeah, all of it.
I don't buy it. Again, a lie. Just because there's ice and just because stuff's still alive doesn't mean I should believe anything you have to say. I believe Al Gore, right after he invented the internet, came up with this, and he's done a hell of a job. That's all I'm telling you.
For the past 20 years, it's been largely stable. And anyway, this is just sea ice, ice in the water, not the total amount of ice in the Arctic. Almost all the Arctic's ice is on land. And this is the trend line for that ice. You can barely see any decline.
Compared to the amount of ice that's in the Arctic, it is like a grain of sand on the beach. It is so minuscule compared to the amount of ice that's there that it doesn't even show up on a trend chart when you plot it.
It's so frustrating. Media keep interviewing experts who claim
we still see an ice-free Arctic by the middle of the century.
Zealots have predicted doom for years.
There is a 75% chance that the entire North Polar ice cap during some of the summer months could be completely ice-free within the next 5 to 7 years.
Well, those years have long passed. Nobody calls him on it.
They absolutely should be calling him on it. A lot of these kinds of claims are based on what computer models are projecting.
And they pick the ones that are alarmist.
Oh, absolutely. Well, those are the ones that generate headlines, right?
That's what you want. If you ever gone to, we went out the other night, Belle and I went to a Mexican restaurant. Belle, of course, was like, give me fajitas. Because that's what, and he commanded it like that. Well, if you've ever gone to a Mexican restaurant and somebody goes walking through the room and and the smoke's coming up, everybody turns and looks. You sell the steak. You sell the sizzle, not the steak or the chicken. And that's what this stuff does.
And I got both. I got steak and chicken.
Yeah. And there was all kinds of sizzle going on because that's how he rolls. This is a industry. Look, this is our home. We need to do better. We need to keep it cleaner, right? What's the old saying? You don't where you eat. And we need to do a much better job. But this is about global control for a lot of people. This is about telling the West, hey, guys, pay all of these poor countries stuff because we've robbed them, which we have at times, and they're still struggling. Give them a bunch of crap, money, so they can go off and do their own thing. And you guys can, get some of that white guilt off your back for being successful. And that's a lot of what this is. This is a business.
Here's another myth that generates headlines.
Arctic polar bears are facing near extinction by the end of the century.
Imagine your family disappearing. It's happening to polar bears right now.
I got to go find it. Are they getting Diet Cokes? Because I know. Exactly. I know polar bears like Diet Cokes, and I know they get a lot of them, especially at Christmas time.
That's myth 2. Polar bears are going extinct.
This is the worst one. Polar bears have increased their populations.
Environmental groups ignore that increase to sucker you into giving them more of your money.
Don't give up on polar bears. Don't give up on threatened species. Your support can help Environmental Defense Fund save the polar bears.
These environmental groups are really being sleazy.
Absolutely, because the data is right there. It's not hard to find out that polar bears are fine. Finding some sick polar bear out there to take a picture of does not indicate the health of the species.
So polar bears aren't going extinct. But I'm told we might.
Oh, man. So did you guys, I didn't know that. Well, I mean, I was good working with you guys. I didn't know we were going to go extinct.
Yeah, you didn't get the memo?
I didn't.
You got to pay attention to
They should have
email
put that in an email somewhere. I'm telling you guys that right now.
We sent an email out.
It's a shame.
I bet you the polar bears will be happy about that.
Well, yeah, they can go eat our dead bodies. That's what they like to do. And they'll chase it down with a Diet Coke.
The UN is warning of mass extinctions and food shortages within this century if global warming continues.
Climate change could create a massive global food shortage.
That's myth 3.
Our changing climate is already making it more difficult to produce food.
There is no claim less true.
Agricultural output keeps setting record highs.
Food production has skyrocketed, even amid the modest warming of the past 100+ years.
Extra carbon dioxide is good for food production.
Well, we inject CO2 into greenhouses for a reason. It's because it helps to fertilize plants for faster and better growth. And NASA data show that the Earth has significantly greened over the past couple of decades. And that NASA even attributes to increased carbon dioxide fertilization.
As the climate has warmed, the world experienced the biggest drop in hunger and malnutrition ever. But climate activists don't tell people that.
No, because it's not in their best interest. It's your business. My business would be scaring people and getting them to do what? To buy whatever crap I'm selling them or donate to whatever thing I'm doing or win grants, research grants. That's what it's all about. Again, we need to treat the environment much better. I don't want to go to polluted areas. I don't want the frogs turning gay, right? I don't need the pollution. I don't want plastics all over. But to say that we are but a tiny speck on this planet. If and when Mother Earth decides she's had enough of us, she gonna kick us to the curb.
The United Nations says Madagascar is on the verge of experiencing the world's first climate crisis famine.
Climate crisis famine? No. Madagascar's problems are mostly caused by bad governance, corruption, cronyism, not climate change. But whenever there's a food shortage, or even when prices rise, the media blame climate change.
Food shortages driven by the effects of climate change. We're going to see starvation and famine on multiple continents at the same time.
When coffee prices rose, the New York Times blamed devastation that climate change wrought. But since the 1990s, global coffee production has increased by 82%. The Times focused on a brief decline in Honduras. But even there, coffee production since 1990 is up more than 200%.
It does not mean that there is a long-term climate issue if you have one bad year.
But the New York Times acts like it does.
It absolutely does not. And they get egg on their face when you look at the historic data and you see they've been setting records for coffee production.
But they never apologize. They never say, oh, we got this wrong.
No, and even if they did have a retraction, the damage is already done. The false report already went out.
And that's all that matters. It is. Because they're playing to the audience out there that they want to play to. They believe that the world's coming to an end and it can't be fixed. Yet every time something, it's like that preacher in New York, in Times Square, who used to put up the billboard saying that the earth is coming to an end in this date because of the math in the Bible. And every year he would fail. And every year he'd have followers. And every year he'd put a billboard up saying, well, I got the math wrong, but I got it right this time. No. We need to treat the earth better, of course. That being said, when I was a kid growing up, it was the Ice Age. 1974, cover of Time magazine, it's a new Ice Age. Guess what? Now it's hotter. How long will Ice Age last? I thought they lasted a lot longer than, say, 40 years. But apparently that's not true. 50? Maybe a little longer than that. Yeah, this is a business. And for the last several years, business has been booming. And it shouldn't be about either or. We should be able to take care of the planet. Look for better ways to power our vehicles, power our homes that aren't going to destroy and take so much from Mother Earth, which we can do. But at the same time, this insanity of the world's coming to an end or else, we have to change everything, is ridiculous. Is absolutely ridiculous. And the Paris Climate Accords were a joke if you've read through them. They were.